Alright, so I tried to record this for days and it wouldn't work, so if you're seeing this, it's probably a fucking miracle, okay? So listen up. So number one, I felt this immediate pressure just start to almost like creep in. The equivalent of like a closet full of things with the door ajar and you just keep trying to push it shut till eventually it's almost like it becomes this entity and you're like, God, I have to deal with this, right? So it's kind of like this streak of unawareness and then all of a sudden all the awareness. That's what it felt like. Is this sudden awareness of something where I'm like, oh my God, that's been there the whole time? Oh my God. That's what this feels like to me. Okay. And so I feel like the way that this came through to me the other day was that someone needs to tell you something. I feel as though you guys are going to get a message from somebody. I'm really feeling very specifically for whatever reason, this feels like a text message. This feels like a text message. I know a lot of people have iPhones, and this is going to be a really weird thing to say, but it is coming across as a blue message with like a red receipt on it. Maybe you have yours on, or this person will have theirs on or something. Or maybe you just know, like they're there reading it or something like that. But there's this sense of like sending this message and waiting for a reply. Like spending time making sure that you have the availability, or maybe this is them having the availability to talk to you and to listen to your response. I was also hearing sobering thoughts. So what I was getting was more so that there is this person who wants to tell you something. I don't feel like you're doing the telling or communicating. You could be, but I feel like more so this is a person that needs to communicate something to you, and I feel as though it's going to be very serious, which is why they wanted to probably have the time to sit down and respond and talk and be available for this. This is coming to me as really vulnerable, like really, really vulnerable, a sense of I'm sharing something very personal. For some of you, this is giving me a sense of something big has happened in someone's life that they're trying to tell you about. And it's something that can possibly shift your perspective of them, of who they are. For some of you, because I am hearing sobering, this could be something to do with sobriety. This could be like, hey, I really struggled with, again, this sort of addiction or sobriety for a really long time. Maybe someone went back on sobriety. Maybe someone kind of like relapsed, so to speak, in a way, where they're like, this has been, happening to me behind the scenes, and you deserve to kind of like know that about me. It feels like someone just wants to be so honest with you because they care for you. Regardless of how long you've known them, it doesn't matter. What I feel like for some of you has happened is I'm feeling a gap, like a distance physically between you and a person, whether it's, 10 minutes, an hour, whatever, but I'm feeling more of a longer distance here, but take what resonates, of course. This feels like a long distance between you and another person. For some of you, this could also be a situationship or kind of like a short-lived friendship or relationship in your life previously that you've had, and maybe things just didn't end on good terms, but I'm getting a lot of miscommunication, not having the full picture, missing certain pieces, and kind of wondering what is really going on behind the scenes, and feeling like, I swear there's something more. I think your intuition has been telling you for a really long time, like, there's something more to the way this person behaves, or the way that they spoke to me, the way things ended. I feel like this entire time you've known that something has been wrong. Okay, and Mercury being in its, we're almost retrograde, and so Mercury being in Aries is this really forward communication, and I feel like anytime Mercury is in retrograde, especially with it being Aries, can sometimes be the sense of, it's vulnerable because this person has to admit something that they don't necessarily love about themselves, right? Hence where the Aries is coming in. Aries, you're thinking, confidence, it's very forward, it's very assertive, and so with having it, also very independent as well, very like headstrong, and so I feel like what I'm getting intuitively with this is Mercury being in Aries and about to go retrograde is going to be this sense of, hey, I'm not as strong as like I come off, or like, hey, I'm actually not as like well put together as I look on the outside. Like, here's how I actually struggle. Okay, I'm also hearing something about Chiron So definitely keep that in mind too. Oh, I actually think Chiron is in Aries, and I think it's been there for a while too. So that would make a lot of sense there if Mercury in Aries, Mercury in Aries with Chiron in Aries, those two planets, or rather asteroid and planet coming close together. Chiron is that wounded healer, so that can be a lot of addressing, hey, these are wounds and issues and triggers that I've had to deal with. And I feel like it is something really personal, because Chiron is not just, it's almost like, what I'm hearing is that saying, it's like, what we go through is what we grow through, or something like that. You'll understand. If it's meant for you, you'll understand. But like, that's kind of what I'm hearing, especially with Chiron, is a sense of like, you're kind of having to admit, like, I can't do everything on my own, or they are, depending on where you are in the story. This won't be for everyone. This is really specific. But this feels like sobering thoughts makes me feel like it's going to be something that maybe you thought, I don't have all the information, maybe they're not telling me something, but you may not have guessed that this person would be experiencing something so heavy, so deep, and so dark, and kind of like not really understanding the depths of what this person truly had to go through, and what they were experiencing, what they were kind of holding in. I feel like they just did not tell you anything, and the way that maybe this person left your life, whether temporary or permanent, it just left a lot of questions to be answered. Not a lot of answers going on there, and feeling like, I know there's more. Your intuition has always said, I know that there is more. And I think you kind of knew at one point or another this person would come back around. And so I'm really feeling like they come to you and they're like, hey, can you chat? And when you guys end up chatting, texting, calling, whatever you guys end up doing, they're like, yeah, so like, I was struggling with an addiction, or I was really struggling with my mental health. For some of you, I was really getting a sense of not just sobriety, but even like a diagnosis of some kind, possibly like mental health related. Like, this is really the true depth of what I was experiencing and what I was navigating through, and that's why my behavior towards you was this way. That's why, I wasn't able to give you everything in that moment, and I feel like I'm really like channeling a conversation right now. I'm feeling a lot of, I'm just gonna say it like I'm that person talking to you, and hopefully this resonates and kind of help you guys a little bit here. I feel like this person what they want to say to you is, these are the things that I've really been struggling with behind closed doors. I never felt comfortable to address it. I wasn't ready to heal it. I wasn't ready to address it. I wasn't fully aware of what was going on, and to how bad it even was, like, within myself. Like, I couldn't even admit that to myself. I put it off. Again, Mercury and Chiron, Aries, stubbornness. I put it off, not thinking that it was affecting me, to the point that it was truly affecting me. I wasn't aware of how much it was affecting my relationships, my connections with others, and the way that I communicated with other people. And now that I have been focusing on this, now that it's been brought to my attention and awareness, I want you to know that my behavior, my actions, etc., had nothing to do with you or anything that you were lacking, but everything to do with me, and something that I was failing to address within myself. Wow, that's so powerful. This person has gone through so much. This is like a humbling moment for them, where they're like, this is something I've been dealing with, and you deserved better during those moments. I'm sorry that I could not give that to you, but at the very least, you deserve the truth, and for, things to be kind of civil between us. Like, that's the vibe that I'm getting here, okay? Definitely felt very channeled, like someone very specific needed to hear that. Regardless of how long this person was in your life, they did care for you, they care about you, they still do, they value you. I want to take this away from the romantic aspect. They value you as a human being, respect you as a human being. And so, like, just on a soul level, a human level, they want to, not my phone on low battery, but because I value you in these ways that are not, again, romantic based or what you can do for me, etc. It's like, I value you as a human. You deserve this kind of basic decency and respect from me, and here's me coming back to rectify something that I know I had a hand in, right? There's also a really big influence of Neptune here, of what I was feeling from when I originally channeled this the other day. Neptune, depth of the subconscious, the unconscious, right? This is the stuff that's deeply psychological within our brains, has kind of a Pluto flavor to it as well. But that influence, wherever Neptune is, maybe it's just Pisces season doing it to this person, but I think they've come to this point where it's finally time that they let you know the reality of their situation, and rectify their behavior, essentially. So I love you so much, and I hope that helps.